absolutely dominant jammer yesterday, scoring 2 35-point jams and a 30-point jam to her name.
But the Wiltshire jammer comes through, dodge diamond, seeing that Liz had got out of the pack, did wisely call it.
And you get a nice little shot of your Cambridge Bents there, lining up for jam 3.
So that looks like, I think that's ankle biter.
It is ankle biter, the fastest thing on 8 wheels, and an announcer by trade.
Defied gravity more than a few times yesterday.
Yeah, watch out for their spinning toe stop work, their apex jumps, and their massive grin every time they are skating.
It does look like we've got Lynn Zane out for the Wiltshire. But look at ankle biter, just amazing toe stop work, so strong on the line, managing to stay in bound, but being really held in by those Wiltshire blockers.
And Lindsay now coming up against Dangerous at the front, and picks up lead. Dangerous trying to draw the cut track, but not quite successful.
And it does look to me like ankle biter is... Oh no, jam's over.
Jam is over, yeah. That it's all happening so quickly that we can't even keep up. And at the moment, I think Wiltshire are very much avoiding those kind of multi-scoring jams. They're trying to establish the momentum of the game, trying to show to Cambridge we're here to take control and not letting them get points on the board yet, which must be quite dispiriting for Cambridge, but it's still early days. And now Le Renegade taking the start for the second time up against Electrocute from Cambridge Rollerbillies for the first time.
And we can see both packs holding strong, that braced tripod being so popular these days, and it is so tough for the jammers to get through, but working hard. We haven't even reached the turn 1.
Some beautiful tracking there from Be Brutal of Wiltshire, but Electrocute just absolutely tenacious. Wiltshire reforming beautifully.
Bit of incoming offense then, timed perfectly, setting Le Renegade free, and she is your lead jammer.
Electrocute with 1 to beat at the front, comes up against Be Brutal, does make it through with a nice little spin move. Now we see Cambridge resetting at the back.
Le Renegade looking for a point, and a lovely turn and call off.
Yeah, Be Brutal in exactly the right place there to offer up that shielding offense. Absolutely superb and calm roller derby going on from Wiltshire right now. Cambridge perhaps a little frazzled.
It looks like we've got Diamond Dodge back out on the jam line for Wiltshire.
Oh, I love watching Dodge jam. I love watching all of them jam, to be fair, but I've got a soft spot for Dodge. Looks like Cambridge, Wiltshire, are 1 light on track, so it will Donna K. Baps with only 3 to contend with, and she is at the front of the pack. Could this be the first lead for Cambridge? Nice hit out there by Jessica Stabbit.
Take her all the way back to the pivot line, but it is Wiltshire who pick up lead.
Yep, there goes Diamond Dodge on the initial, and star in hand for Baps at the moment.
So just 2 on the track, trying to stop Dodge right now.
And now Wiltshire starting to run these jams a little bit more, as Baps is not out of the pack yet on her initial. Wiltshire in full-on lockdown. They are trusting Dodge to do her work against these 3 rollerbillies, now 4, as Hermaphrodite re-enters play.
That was a lovely star pass there by Donna K. Baps, just a little behind the back action, just slipped around and went unnoticed, forcing the call off there.
Yep, but a big jam for Wiltshire there, 7 points.
Rollerbilly still looking for that initial set of points.
Yep, so the score, as you can see on the screen, sits at 18-0 so far, with just over 6 or nearly 6 minutes gone in the first half.
I'm going to go, I believe that's Lisp. Saw her in action yesterday. Fantastic jamming skill, looking for the outside, coming straight across diagonally for the inside, and just running riot through the Wiltshire pack there, picking up lead very quickly.
Yep, so the first lead status of the game. Oh no.
Second, I believe.
And no, it's actually not a lead, because Lisp is off to the box, and that is on a forearm penalty. So we now have a power jam in favour of Wiltshire.
And this is where we'll see the rollerbillies really have to apply the blocking that they so beautifully held back Rowett City with yesterday. And you can see they do force the recycle container, and there it goes again. Just avoiding the Wiltshire, trying to shut the gate there. So Lisp is back on track and is fast and furious. Feet are flying, and she finds herself through the pack.
So initial pass being completed right now for Cambridge.
So these are potentially first points now for the Rollerbillies. Lisp dodging her way through.
And nice work there from the Cambridge Rollerbillies, just holding back Lindsay and just taking her to the outside by Genghis Khan.
Lisp looking for a second round of points now for the Rollerbillies, pushing really hard, top of turn 3, working that inside line.
And this is where we see Cambridge's strength go to work in these walls. They are able to cover a huge amount of track, and they showed this against Riot City yesterday. They brace off a low point of their arms, so their walls are very fluid and can cover a lot of track with just 3. And the jam comes to its natural conclusion. 10 points put on the board there for Cambridge Rollerbillies, so their first 10 points of the game, and Wiltshire held scoreless. So we now have an 8-point game. Wiltshire perhaps not as dominant as they hoped they would be in these early stages.
It does feel like the Rollerbillies is slowly easing themselves into the game a little bit. And here comes Ankle Biter for the Rollerbillies.
And Ankle Biter was awarded Best Jammer for Cambridge yesterday. So we will see them go to work, but right now they are being drawn back into the straightaway. In the meantime, the Renegade goes to work, picks up lead for Wiltshire.
So Ankle Biter's looking for a little bit of offensive help. Little help from her friends.
Yeah, they use Dangerous to try to batter their way through Wiltshire, but Wiltshire just very present there at the front of the pack, locking down into a 4-wall, and the Renegade sweeping past 4 more points. You are watching this game on the Roller Derby City Track, and you can see their banner behind the penalty box there. They are one of our track sponsors this weekend, and we are very grateful for all they do for Roller Derby and for kitting out our officials this weekend. You can check them out at rollerderbycity.com, and I strongly encourage that you do so. Cambridge pivot in the box right now, so pack advantage for Wiltshire as Electrocute and Diamond Dodge take the stars.
Both teams showing that really strong blocking from the off, but then Rollerbillies throwing in some offense. Hermaphrodite coming in and out of the box and looking to disrupt that Wiltshire wall.
And Wiltshire going into full defensive lockdown at the moment. No offense coming at the back for Dodge. It looks like they don't want to risk that lead status at all, even if it comes at the expense of their jammer being trapped for a little while. Haley taking out Electrocute. Woo, that gotta hurt.
Reset. That was quite a big reset there, and now we've got quite a scrum of a pack going on in the entrance of turn 1.
There goes Diamond Dodge on the outside. One to beat. Oh, just has to reset.
Oh, Electrocute. Thought she might have kept it in, but also reset as well. Both jammers having a really tough time of things.
Yeah, Haley there also with the knockout on Electrocute.
We're nearly over a minute in, and we still don't have lead jammer established.
Yeah. Electrocute looking pretty tired of this now. Hermaphrodite coming in to try to help the offense. There goes Dodge on the inside, and my goodness me, after almost a minute and a half, we had lead established for Wiltshire. What a tough battle there for the jammers.
So the Rollerbillies also now looking to play some offense, but it has left them a little bit open, but they were just aware enough to see Diamond Dodge coming in. So now just playing with the 2-wall and the 2 up front, playing offense.
Dodge makes her way past 2, comes up against another blocker, but now weaves through the inside And as the jam comes to its natural conclusion, 5 points will go on the board for Wiltshire and Diamond Dodge. But what hard fought 5 points that was.
That was a tough old jam, that one.
I mean, with Tier 2 promotion on the line for one of these teams, it is literally everything to play for. They can, they can relax a little bit after this game, although they will be going through, whoever wins this game will go through to the final later, but both teams who are in the final will be promoted to Tier 2 next season. And so the win for that will mainly be bragging rights, let's be perfectly honest.
And that's what we're after, isn't it,
yeah.
really?
But it's the semi-final that's the big one.
Lisp very cleverly watching good awareness to know where she could re-enter, making as short work of that as possible, driving that Wiltshire wall all the way up to turn 1.
Yeah, Wiltshire rolling quite a lot there. Oh. And nice little spin there from Baps to pick up lead. I think that's only the 3rd lead Cambridge has had. I could be wrong. Coco might be able to confirm that for us. 2nd lead.
Ah, yes, we picked up the penalty.
Yeah, 2nd lead picked up for Cambridge, and we are in Jam 9.
And just, again, perhaps just using her teammates for a little offence, but Wiltshire able to reform around that, and they're just seemingly reforming in front of the jammer. There we go again.
Lindsay is on the initial, and you might see her approaching the pack, but as she does, the whistle is blown, and 5 points put on the board for Cambridge that jam. 13 points now separating these two teams, Wiltshire out in front.
So Cambridge seem to be running a 4-jammer rotation, while Wiltshire are sticking with a 3-jammer rotation is what we're seeing at the moment. Yeah,
looking at the roster for Wiltshire, I know Jessica Stabbit is quite an adept jammer in her own right, but she has been mainly blocking this season. So we will have to see if she is put on at all in the second half as a relief jammer.
And I do believe that's Lisp in there, driving her way through that Wiltshire.
Oh, and
she does have a lead, I believe.
Yes, but the Renegade is also out of the pack, and they are really, really close as you will see them come in to the pack almost simultaneously.
But you can see the Rollerbillies have picked up a goat as well, just making it a little easier on their jammer.
Oh, and a back block issued now on the Renegade. So a huge opportunity here for Cambridge to shake it up with this power jam.
That trademark roll off the back there from Lisp again, and still smiling. Every time she takes on a blocker, she is smiling all the way.
Oh, Cambridge are easily the smiliest team I've seen at playoffs this weekend.
Fabulous, fabulous work. To jam and to smile simultaneously. That's a talent.
Haley off to the box for Wiltshire as well. So pack advantage for Cambridge and the power advantage too. Lisp now really hitting her stride as she picks up the Grand Slam.
And this is what we saw from Lisp yesterday. The big jams, when it counts, taking advantage of the power jams and really putting those points on the board. She's a game changer of a jammer, to be honest.
Yeah, and Wiltshire bleeding penalties at the moment. There's another blocker off to the box, I believe, on a multiplayer. That's Serenity Shepherd.
On Renegade just running into the Rollerbillies there and finding no give in that wall whatsoever.
And we have our first lead change of the game. Cambridge now on 34, Wiltshire 28. Huge jam right now for Lisp. And I would not be surprised if Wiltshire call a timeout after this jam just to reset, because they have lost that momentum. And Lisp is just running this. She's now on 24 points.
And this is exactly what we saw yesterday, just the cruise control of Lisp to just keep going through the pack.
Wiltshire looking a little dispirited as they head back to their box.
Few people lost their heads a little bit in that jam, so they'll be hoping just to calm things down, take a breath, get a bit of control back.
So 4 points were picked up by Wiltshire in that jam. So now score sitting at 39 to 32 in Cambridge's favour. And I think that's ankle biter on the line for Cambridge. With a running start, Jessica Stabbit comes in for the hit out. Wiltshire very arm heavy in their walls. And they're going to have to be careful of that if they're not going to risk multiplayers.
But look at the Rollerbillies. I mean, it's just a 2 pair at the back, just containing that jammer despite the incoming offence.
Nice drawback there by Jessica Stabbit.
And the lovely hit out coming from the Rollerbillies, again causing both jammers to be recycled.
Yeah, that was Smacktivist with the drawback, I think. And now we're back in the straightaway. Dodge coming up against a 2-wall at the front. Hermaphrodite and Dangerous going to work. Oh my God, ankle biter almost through, but forced to reset to the infield. And there we go, Diamond Dodge out of the pack, but no, does pick up lead.
I thoroughly enjoy watching ankle biter jam. Just no fear, making the jumps, just going for it constantly.
They love jumping. They're a very excitable individual. And we've had a star pass though to Hermaphrodite, the pivot for Cambridgeshire. Dodge calls the jam, doesn't want any more points to go up on that Cambridge board. Brings the Wiltshire total to 35. We have a 4-point game with just under 13 minutes in the half. Just to bring you a brief update on the other track, we are in an intermission with just under 6 minutes remaining, and the score sitting at 77 to 62, and it looks like that's in favour of Hull's Angels. Ooh, so a 15-point differential for Nottingham and Hull on the Just One Body track. But right now on the Roller Derby City track, we have Electrocute and Lindsay. Electrocute with lead for Cambridge.
Lindsay just looking for that space on the inside line and just being constantly denied by the Rollerbillies.
Yeah, Electrocute takes the out, is going to be drawn back again. Hayley so active. I don't know if she is captain this season. I think she was captain at some point, but just such a presence on track.
You can see the battle of the pivots here at the front of the pack. And the pivots looking to guard their pack and stop any potential star passes, and you can see ZZ Strop trying to do that right now.
But we have had a star pass to Be Brutal, who is just exceptional footwork, makes it through on the outside on the initial.
Electrocute coming in and turning through that hit beautifully.
And jam called before Be Brutal has any chance to put points on the board. So Cambridge holding on to that lead, 46 to 35, 11 points separating the teams with 11 minutes to go.
So Renegade looking for the space on the inside line, finds it, manages to keep her feet, but on the outside, Donna Baps is out of the pack. She is not your lead jammer, but she is winning the foot race. The Renegade behind her has control of the jam and does the smart thing and calls it.
Yeah, there was some just gorgeous awareness there from the Cambridge Jammer, just managing to sneak away around the outside, and much the wisest thing to do for Wiltshire to call that. They cannot afford to let Cambridge eke out their lead any further. Just having a quick glance at penalties to update you. Both teams playing pretty clean at the moment. Hermaphrodite of Cambridge and Hayley and Serenity Shepherd of Wiltshire both all sitting on 2 penalties. We have otherwise a handful of players from either team sitting on 1, but nobody in any danger right now. So a nice clean game happening.
And we're seeing Lisp going up against Diamond Dodge, and Lisp with her trademark lateral moves through the pack, just shrugging off blockers, does go out and pick up lead for the Rollerbillies.
Dodge through with the star stash, half a track behind. Lisp comes flying in, but oh my goodness, Ginge with the hit out. And Dodge sneaks through on the inside, doesn't pick up any points though, whistles must have gone, but Lisp held to 2 on that scoring pass.
So just the 2 points in the last 2 jams for the Rollerbillies, but you know, they're creeping away from Wiltshire slowly.
I mean, this is what you'd hope of a semi-final, isn't it? You don't want an absolute walkover, or skate over indeed, by either team, because let's face it, folks, that would be boring to watch in a semi-final. I mean, that sounds horrible. All roller derby is fun. We just want a close game, okay? That's what I'm saying.
We just like the roller derby, and here we come, ankle biter. Definitely a favourite of mine this weekend. Shrugging again off the blockers. Excellent footwork, taking lead.
Oh, I love ankle biter. I think they're great. They're such an excellent human and such an excellent skater. Here they come on the initial. Nice duck and dodge. Comes up against Jessica Stabbit. Turns and slows down a wee second.
He's aware that Lynn Zane is on her way round. And you see that great awareness making the call.
Does get 3 points on that pass. Nice awareness, as he said. Just like to give a quick shout out as well, not only to Roller Derby City again, who are sponsoring this track, but also to Double Threat Skates, who have sponsored this playoff, and also Radar Wheels, who are sponsoring our jam lines this weekend. So if you fancy some new wheels, you can check out the Radar Holo wheels.
I believe they're also sponsoring the MVP award.
They are indeed.
Which will be decided today, so that seems very exciting.
I can't call who MVP is going to be. There's been some exceptional work this weekend from a variety of teams. And you have on your screen at the moment just the penalties board, as we said, nice and clean. It doesn't look like the tallies are being added up in the columns, so you'll have to count them yourselves, I'm afraid. But as you can see, nobody in any real danger right now. We're in a team timeout, which is just coming to an end, so we are going to head into Jam 16.
Do love a little jammer chat on the jam line. Love how friendly roller derby is. So the pack advantage looks like it is with Wiltshire right now.
Yeah, one Cambridge blocker in the box, so Electrocute and Le Renegade facing off. Le Renegade with a 3-wall, but look at the strength of that Cambridge tripod, virtually immovable right now. Ginge coming in with the offense, but their lateral coverage is so good. Electrocute, though, having a bit of trouble, and Le Renegade does finally make it through to pick up lead. And Wiltshire reforming very nicely at the front of the pack there.
Now Rollerbillies are not looking to play offense, they're looking to defend now to kind of contain Le Renegade, who is having none of it. But they say you may have passed us once, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make you work for it, and to back they take her.
Nice hit there on Le Renegade, forcing her to reset back into the apex. Comes up against Smacktivist, tries the out. Cambridge are everywhere at the moment, but they're not together. And there goes Le Renegade, finally getting through the pack, and will put a full 5 points on the board for Wiltshire.
And ZZ Strop had just taken the star as that jam came to an end.
But no time to put it into effect. So now 11 points separating the teams once again. This is such a nice close game.
Look at all those smiles on the jam line. All smiles, they're ready for it.
So I can see Diamond Dodge lining up for Wiltshire. And that is Donna K. Baps. And Dodge through with probably the quickest lead we've seen in the game so far. Barely time to breathe before she picks up lead.
3 steps and she was out.
Dodge comes in, hops the apex, nice and slick. Oh, tries the outside line. I could have sworn she just took a big step to the outside there. Surprised that's not being chatted about, but maybe something happened that I wasn't aware of. Well, everything's fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is why I'm not a ref. I don't understand things. I just do what they tell me.
We've got Lisp going up against Lynn Zane, and Lisp is off. Dodges the falling number 5 of Hayley and establishes herself as lead.
Lynn Zane through, though, on the initial as Lisp re-enters play. Oh, beautiful hit. Pops her hips round. Skates backwards, calls it off, nice and quick.
Through the middle of the tripod is not the usual route for success, but
she's such a strong jammer. She, if you know, you start to get to know the preferred styles of these jammers, and Lisp does like the middle because she is strong, because she has got that ability to swing her hips round nice and cleanly.
She does just seem to shrug a blocker off once contact's made.
Whereas Dodge likes the lines, Ankle Biter likes the apex. Yeah, everyone's. Oh, and speaking of, we've got those two now. However, it's Ankle Biter through the middle right now. Picks up lead, takes a quick knee, chased down, but out of the engagement zone.
And a strong brace pair from the Rollerbillies doing the work to contain Dodge just long enough for Ankle Biter to come all the way back around and be having a little hunt for points now.
Jessica Stabbit doing a great job here, holding her pack together, and some great awareness.
Oh, and there goes Ankle Biter, and sensing almost, using the force to know that Dodge was hot on the edge of the pack and calling it.
The force is strong with this one. So that puts the score 59-43 in favour of Cambridge. So, you know, this differential I don't think has gone above 16 points. I think this is the biggest differential we've had. Oh no, I lie, because at the start of the game it was something like 18-0. But it's not, we're not having these kind of huge sweeping jams. We had a big one from Liss, but otherwise it's been a couple of passes and calling it.
Well, I think Cambridge feel like they've established some control now. That big jam from Liss really did make the difference, and now they're just happy to slowly add the points and contain Wiltshire as much as possible.
Well, they're not containing the Renegade at the moment, who does have the lead status. And the Renegade coming into the pack, dodges to the outside. I think Cambridge were a little confused there. I think they heard the jam whistle go on the other track and thought the jam was over, and just were caught napping a little bit there by the Renegade. But that's the game, I'm afraid. So Wiltshire adding 3 to their total with 3 minutes left. And a bit of a giggle and a dance on the jam line there from Lynn Zane. And Donna Kay Baps taking the star for Cambridge, tries the inside, comes up against Jessica Stabbit.
Some great awareness, just a toe-stop hop out and back in again for Donna Kay Baps, knowing exactly where she could re-enter, and off she goes.
Nice stability there from Baps, staying in bounds with the 1 foot glide. And we've had a star pass to number 22. That is Skeletor, who I believe was given the prize for being the biggest pain in the butt on track yesterday.
I mean, if there's a compliment in Derby, that is it.
Hey, I have played with her, and she is a total pain in the butt for the other players. She's a great human being.
So it was about time she was rewarded.
Yeah. You know, playoffs is all about the specific awards you're given, not just the promotion. So 2 minutes in the half, 63-46. I still can't call this game, not that I've been asked to, but it's a lot. Dodge coming up against Lisp. Interesting matchup, and it works for Wiltshire as Dodge picks it up. Of course, they're very different stylistically, these jammers.
And Dodge does have about half a lap.
Oh, flies in, calls the jam. Is she, oh no. Oh. Wait a second. Now, that was interesting, because Dodge was calling the jam from the floor. But it looks like a No penalties issued there. Oh my goodness, the penalty box is pretty full though. We have both pivots sitting in the box and another blocker apiece. So we've got a micro pack on track. Ankle Biter and the Renegade. And the Renegade getting the advantage there. Ankle Biter out super fast behind her.
And you can see the blockers now trying not to get caught on the corner.
Speeding away. Are they aware of Ankle Biter? Jessica Stabbit tries it. And the Renegade running the jam, trying to free her blockers by the looks of it.
And that is sensible work. And we've seen a few times this weekend that people haven't freed their blockers from the box. And you can't think why you wouldn't do that.
But it is a risk. Oh, and they call the jam. And the blockers are sprung in the dying seconds. Whew, that was a lot to contend with, because you don't want to be in a foot race with Ankle Biter. No matter how good you are, they will probably catch you up. So 4 points picked up a piece In that jam, of course, both jammers picking up the ghost points of their opposing blockers who were sitting in the box. And now we're going to head into what will be the last jam of this half, and Electrocute, Diamond Dodge, and again, lightning out of the pack. And Electrocute with the Star Stash comes up against Skeletor.
Not fooling Wiltshire, they're all over her.
Nice work there by Dodge.
Just seeing some beautiful lines from Dodge. Just sees the gaps, sails on through.
And look at that scoreboard, folks. It is going to be a very close end to this first half. Oh, Dodge with that spinning work, just spectacular. Oh my goodness. And let's just wait for the score to be clarified. Yep, we now have at the end of the first half a 5-point game. 67 plays 60, 67 plays 62. Cambridge still holding on to the lead, but Wiltshire absolutely chasing them down.
And the teams are still on track. They want another jam. They were ready to go again.
One more jam. Calm down. We've got half time. You can all go sit down.
You can have another 30 minutes. Come back in a bit.
So we will be back here very shortly in about 14 minutes to carry on with the second half. In the meantime, I do recommend that you pop your feeds over for just 10 minutes to the Just One Body track, where the score is currently 97 to 81 in favour of Hull's Angels roller derby. So that's another nail biter you don't want to miss. But do come back here in 14 minutes to carry on with Cambridge Rollerbillies versus Wiltshire roller derby. Welcome back to the Roller Derby City Track here at the British Championships 2018 promotional playoffs. You will be, in a couple of minutes, watching the second half of Cambridge Rollerbillies versus Wiltshire Roller Derby, and it's been an absolute cracker of a first half. Cambridge just out in front now after Wiltshire took an early lead in the first few jams. In fact, it took until jam 6 for Cambridge to put points on the board. But now we are at 67 to 62 in favour of the Rollerbillies. Wiltshire really, really tough, but Cambridge just hanging on to that lead. Riggs, do you want to chat us through some of the stats that Coco's put together for us?
Yeah, so from the first half, story of that was Wiltshire actually with 58% lead. They were actually 14 out of the 24 jams they would lead, and they used the star pass 3 times. Now, I think the biggest stat coming out of Wiltshire is their 14 penalties. I do think that would have played a huge factor in the change of momentum throughout the half. So Cambridge coming in with 42% lead and have only star passed twice so far, but they have had only 9 penalties. So, as I said, penalties could well be the issue of the day for Wiltshire. And it was Lisp who actually did change that first half around. Despite being held scoreless for the first 5 jams, Lisp then went out and put up 24 points in a jam to take the lead change, in fact.
And I think Lisp will end up being one of the highest scorers of the tournament with some huge jams to her name yesterday as well. And I think you're absolutely spot on about the penalties, because at one point Wiltshire were also very low on penalties, and then they had a few jams where they were just bleeding blockers to the box. They lost their head a little bit. They were quite almost confused on track a little bit and weren't able to adapt to the loss. And look, my prediction has come true. I must be psychic, because Jessica Stabbit is now taking the star for Wiltshire. As I said, she is a phenomenal blocker and an excellent jammer in her own right, but she was blocking primarily for the first half.
And Lisp straight out of the gate takes the first lead jam of the second half.
Jessica Stabbit with one to beat at the front, does so. Nice side surf there, comes up against Dangerous.
But Lisp will just literally lifts her foot to step around those 2 Wiltshire blockers to collect her points.
We would also like to thank, and it was remiss of me to not issue this gratitude in the first half, but we would like to thank Derby Duck Productions, who are keeping us streaming live to you and have been doing so all weekend. We are so, so grateful.
Talking about gratitude, of course, are all our non-skating officials and skating officials too. We will get those names to you as we go on in the second half.
Jam 2 underway now with Baps up against Dodge. And Baps picking up a nice quick lead with Wiltshire in some more penalty trouble at a very early stage. Hayley just re-entering track, another blocker in the box. So, you know, a real advantage for Cambridge at this early point.
And Donna Kay Baps went for it. She went for the big jump, didn't quite make it, reset, smile on her face, ready to go again. Diamond Dodge is being held incredibly well by the Rollerbillies up at the end exit of turn 2.
Yeah, just look at Cambridge's wall. Look at where I said earlier, how they brace off the arms, which enables this very fluid push and pull movement. It doesn't inhibit the structure.
And the space they're covering there.
It means they can cover the track just as ably as they could do with 4. However, Diamond Dodge does not need a lot of room to get through. She is through with the Star Stash on the initial.
So Donna Kay Baps just been shown to the outfield and takes that opportunity to call the jam.
Still only 12 points separating these teams after 3 points added to the total by Cambridge. And again, I'm really glad I'm not being asked to call this jam. I'm not a betting person, and if I were, I wouldn't know where to place my bets at this point, because Wiltshire showed their tenacity yesterday in a nail-biting final few moments where they took a 4-point victory over South Wales. So they know what it is to play to the last moment.
They did, but Cambridge did yesterday settle themselves in, and they maintained control throughout the game. They dominated, and I think if they can get themselves into that position as they sort of are now and have started this second period with, they could start to creep away from Wiltshire.
Electrocute escapes the pack after nearly 30 seconds of play. Dangerous with the drawback on the Renegade, slows her down enough, but she now has escaped the pack.
That's 3 leads in a row there for the Rollerbillies, and Electrocute comes through, passes some hits.
Smacktivist taking Lady T to the ground there, allowing Electrocute to get past 4-3 again. So, you know, they're just picking up handfuls of points at the moment. We're not seeing these big scoring runs from Cambridge, but all they need is a win.
I mean, it's the smart play. Get your points, call the jam,
yeah.
Go again, and just, you know, keeping your opposition to 0 does something psychologically as well. It's really tough.
It's not about ego, this game, at all. It's not about let's put up the biggest differential. It's about let's put up just the most points. You know, this isn't a tournament structure where differentials have an impact. It's literally the win or loss that is going to send one of these through to Tier 2 next year and to the final, which is going to be streamed on BBC later. So a huge amount at stake, and at the moment it's Lynn Zane in control for Wiltshire. Ankle-biter has removed the star for Cambridge, but still in their hands. Spins through, comes up against Be Brutal.
Be Brutal has been everywhere the Ankle-biter has wanted to go this entire jam.
And Ankle-biter locked down right now, and that is not their preferred style. They like the little bits of space where they can weave in and out.
Oh no, and it is Ankle-biter has picked up a track cut.
And a surprising decision there by Wiltshire to pass the star off to Skeletor, who is now the active jammer for Wiltshire, which of course means that the jam will run to 2 minutes. And that's interesting, because they were in control.
This seemed like you might want to opt for the power start maybe in the next jam. But
and they're not going to get that, because Ankle-biter should escape the box before clock expires. However, Skeletor putting the work in, picks up the grand slam for Wiltshire. And oh my goodness, they are 10 points away from a lead change right now. Nice offense coming in there from Be Brutal. And we have a tied game right now. Oh my goodness. Skeletor resetting, having put a toast about. Ankle-biter back in place, star in hand, trying to pass it off, but escapes the pack. And the jam comes to its natural conclusion.
oh.
Is it going to remain a tied score? Were there any more points in the pocket?
There weren't, and I believe that was Be Brutal who was celebrating Wiltshire getting themselves back up to level as she exited the track there. Pleased with their work in that jam. Be Brutal did a fabulous job of containing Ankle Biter throughout that jam.
And now it is Lisp and Diamond Dodge, and it is Lisp who is lead. Dodge forced to reset, takes the star off pretty quickly.
And if there's any time you wanted to re-establish your lead, I feel like putting Lisp out there, this is the time to do it. And you see her cut through the pack with ease.
Yeah, Dodge having some trouble here. But with one to be, Dangerous has just been exceptional this weekend. She is so aware of where everyone is and just always able to get in the right spot.
Saw some great hits from her during the games yesterday, and the Rollerbillies have lost Hermaphrodite to the penalty box.
And star pass effected now from Diamond Dodge to Hayley, the pivot for Wiltshire, but Lisp just not even phased remotely.
I mean, she shrugged off those hits from Ginge there, no trouble at all.
Such a cool and collected jammer.
So from a tied game, we go to 77 to Wiltshire, 91 on the board now for Cambridge.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think putting Lisp out there at those crucial moments just switches up the momentum like no other jammer has done this weekend.
In 1 minute you pulled it back to tie, the next minute you're looking at quite a bit of a differential.
No, for sure, she has been the game-changing jammer for me. But of course, amazing work from the blockers as well. A cut called on La Renegade, and that was a rookie mistake there. She knew she'd come off track and wasn't careful enough to reset behind. So now Cambridge, Donna Kay Baps with the lead and a power stasis. But Cambridge with a pack disadvantage right now, only 2 active blockers on track.
So they're going in and they're looking to cause as much chaos as they can for Donna Kay Baps.
Yeah, but Wiltshire able to reform for a minute.
Oh, that was excellent work there from Donna Kay Baps, backwards on 1 foot, starting her way out of the pack.
And Wiltshire setting up on the apex as we see La Renegade return from the box, and she only has 2 to beat and does so beautifully there to make it through on the initial.
But the strength there from Donna Kay Baps just to ride the hit, staying in bounds.
All players now on track. And Baps calling the jam as the Renegade comes back in. And with that last jam, Cambridge have broken this century, and now at 101. 1 point picked up there by La Renegade in the dying seconds of that jam, putting the score at 101 to 78.
So we do have an empty penalty box. Everybody's on track. And we've got Lynn Zane going up against Electrocute. Electrocute out of the front of the pack and shrugging off the hits. I believe she is your lead jammer.
Yep, out of play very quickly there for Wiltshire, but there goes Lynn Zane with the lead. And I'm sorry to talk about another game when we're on this game, but I have just noticed that it is a 2-point game at the moment between Hull and Nottingham, with Hull holding on to the lead by a whisper. So the quality of derby going on in this hall right now is unbelievable.
And back to our game here, Cambridge versus Wiltshire. You saw Electrocute put up 4 points there and deny Wiltshire any.
And we've got Ankle Biter lining up, having a bit of a hug there with Zizi Strop off the jam line.
My apologies, Electrocute picking up 3 points on that last pass.
Dodge taking Ankle Biter out for a second.
Oh, I like a bit of jammer on jammer.
Ankle Biter not phased though, just takes a running start. You don't want to give Ankle Biter any space.
Bouncing through those hits and just picks herself up and then takes themselves off.
And Serenity Shepherd to the box on a cut track, but there is a queue at the moment. Wiltshire bleeding. Diamond Dodge in the middle of the wall, having a chat with Cambridge there. And Cambridge have chosen to freeze 2 Wiltshire blockers. Smart call there by Cambridge, because they can work really well with that pack advantage, and at the moment they want to stay in control.
And looking at the penalties, on the Wiltshire side, Serenity Shepherd is now on 5 penalties. So, as we did say, we do think penalties could be a big factor in this period.
Oh no, it is 6.
6 penalties.
Yeah, that one's just gone up. Thanks, Coco, for pointing us out. The biggest penalties on Cambridge's side is Smacktivist with 4, but that's no problem at the moment for Lisp, who picks up a remarkably quick lead. And there goes Le Renegades with the Staff Dash through on the initial. 40 points separating these teams currently, so Cambridge with the biggest differential we've seen so far in this game.
But Lisp is sat in the penalty box right now.
And that is for a forearms penalty. That's her 2nd penalty. So a much needed power jam for Wiltshire. And of course, this will be a 2-minute jam as no leads.
Skeletor there with the offense play, just helping to get her jamming through.
Lisp back in play, barreling through Wiltshire, who meet her at the front. Jessica Stabbit with the control. Ginge out of play, so can't engage. And Jessica Stabbit, active pivot right now, and receives the star from the Renegades.
Lisp though making short work of those Wiltshire blockers. And another scoring pass.
Jessica Stabbit coming up against a Cambridge 4 now. Now a tripod. Oh my goodness, everyone's on the floor. Jessica Stabbit takes advantage of the chaos to get through and picks up 4 points.
Lisp went one-on-one with Ginge. Came off worse, but Ginge has earned herself a sit down in the penalty box.
And Wiltshire winning this jam right now, points-wise. But Lisp now re-entering on another scoring pass. And Jessica Stabbit having some trouble getting around those Cambridge blockers at the moment.
And yet again, we just see that textbook spreading out of the pack by Lisp, taking each blocker individually and working our way past them.
We're in a team timeout now before we head into Jam 10. And of course, another opportunity for us to thank Roller Derby City, who are our sponsor for this track, and Radar Wheels, who are sponsoring our MVP award and our jam line. And just giving you an update on the action on the other track, it is 159, 257, and Hull. That is the official score, unofficial score, sorry, over on the Just One Body track. And the crowd in here have absolutely lost their minds whilst we're waiting for that score to be confirmed. If it is confirmed, then it will be Hull's Angels Roller Derby who go through to the Tier 3 Women's Final and who go through for Tier 2 promotion. So that score is still unofficial on the Just One Body track, but Hull are hugging it out. So I think we can safely say that that is a victory for them. And you will be hearing an interview from Hull and Nottingham after this game, so do stick around, don't turn your feed off. In the meantime, on this track, Hayley? No, that's not.
Diamond Dodge,
yeah, it is Diamond Dodge with the start for Wiltshire, but Donna K. Baps with the lead. Diamond Dodge not far behind it. It's actually Diamond Dodge now out in front. You can't see on your screens, but we have a foot race.
Oh,
Dodge sweeps through and does pick up 3 points. Exceptional work there from Dodge.
Rolly Billy's making the rookie error of leaving the inside line a little bit too free there.
So 25 points now separating these teams. So Wiltshire clawing back point by point. Still a quarter of the game clock left to run. And Electrocute and Lynn Zane jammers of the moment. Lynn Zane with a 3 at the front. Electrocute taken to the out by Jessica Stabbit, who is then taken to the out in turn by the Cambridge pivot. Oh, I spoke too soon. Electrocute is seated in the penalty box, and that is for a forearms penalty. So Lynn Zane now with lead status for Wiltshire. blasts through, takes a knee, 1 to beat, and picks up the full 5. Wiltshire losing a blocker to the box.
Oh, just a lovely little hit there. I believe Smacktivist just taking the Wiltshire jammer back.
Electrocute now back in play and engaging with the tripod of Wiltshire, able to move those players really well. Takes the inside line, comes up against Lady T. Oh, Jessica Stabbit with that lovely shoulder hit out. So slick.
So Lindsay has turned it on for this second half. Didn't get lead at all in the first half, but has picked it up twice so far.
And now...
The only 2 leads, actually, that Wiltshire have managed to pick up have come from Lindsay.
But a big jam there for Wiltshire. That will be 13 points on the board, and now only a 12-point difference. So Wiltshire absolutely gunning for Cambridge right now, not letting them rest on their laurels at the moment. There is a Tier 2 promotional place to play for, as well as the chance for the final game to be featured on the BBC. What incredible exposure for not just their team, but for the sport.
Ankle biter going up against Diamond Dodge, and quite a separation of the pack from the off.
Yeah, both teams sending a player to bridge out immediately, and both these jammers, I mean, it's smart, because it's smart tactically, because both these jammers, they're not pushy jammers, they're not the strongest jammers physically on their team, they're very agile, they're very nippy, but if you lock them down,
you can see exactly what we're seeing right now, which is that hard work that goes on at the back of those brace tripods.
Oh, Dodge not going to the box, was confused for a second there, takes the big hit. Almost 40 seconds gone, no lead established. Ankle biter at the front with 3 now to beat, and Dodge on the outside line. What tenacity there from Wiltshire. Picks up lead. Could this be a lead-changing jam for Wiltshire? Dodge loves that inside line. Knocked to the end though.
Peppy Nefrine was not letting Dodge through there.
Be brutal, superb shielding offense, my goodness me. She has been outstanding this weekend for me as a blocker on track, and gets Dodge through for 5 points, 7 points separating these teams.
I mean, this is a semi-final for the neutrals.
And if I were a member of Hull's Angels, I would be moving over to this track and watching them with laser eyes right now, because whoever wins this game will play Hull's Angels roller derby in the final later of Tier 3 Women's British Championships.
And it is Lisp out and pushing hard up against Jessica Stabbit.
And Jessica Stabbit is, oh my goodness, wow, that was so close. Jessica Stabbit is lead for Wiltshire. Lisp about not even a quarter of a track behind, both really speedy jammers when they want to.
That was Skeletor making the difference between lead and not lead there.
Oh, she is so smart as a blocker. Jessica Stabbit slows down coming into Cambridge. Comes up, calls it. Yeah, right decision. Don't let Lisp get a scoring pass in. Picks up 1 point, 6-point game. 11.5 minutes to go. I am feeling very tense. I'm not
such
relaxed.
Smart roller derby play from both sides right now, which is why we have this really tight game.
I'm just looking at penalties at the moment, and I can see that Lisp, I'm just going to look at jammer penalties for a second. Lisp is sitting on 2, Electrocute on 1, Ankle Biter on 1, and then on the Wiltshire side, Le Renegade on 2, and Dodge and Jessica Stabbit on none, and Lynn Zane on 1. So jammer penalties heavier by a smidge on the Cambridge side.
Yeah. But Donna Kay backwards on her toe stops, runs herself through to lead.
And at the moment, Lynn Zane being drawn back. It's turn 4 by Cambridge, and really struggling on those edges because the lateral coverage of the Cambridge blockers is so exceptional. Baps resetting behind Hayley. but some nice offense gets her through. Star pass now to Be Brutal of Wiltshire Roller Derby. And now, of course, that the game on the other track has finished for the time being, it might be easier for these players to manage the clock and the whistles and so on better, because there's going to be less confusion about, is that my whistle, is it not? Might be able to hear the calls a bit more clearly. Might make a difference. That is Electrocute lining up against Diamond Dodge. Le Renegade not wearing the pivot helmet, but is on as a blocker right now. Very versatile player. Electrocute on the out, forced to reset. And the Cambridge pivot, I think that's Smacktivist. No, I'm wrong, but it's the Cambridge pivot coming in to help the offense.
And you can see the roller ability to have a locked down Diamond Dodge. But she is managed to separate them, and that is where the weakness comes against a jammer like Dodge. You give them any kind of gap and they are going to take advantage. Yeah, but it is Cambridge with the lead status right now. They are in control of this jam. Electrocute coming round for two, takes a wee slide. Doesn't pick up any points, but oh no, does pick up points. Sorry, I was watching the wrong ref. Picks up 3 points for her troubles, putting the score at 130 to 116, 14 points. Separating these teams, that can change in a jam. And talking of jammers who can change a game, here comes Liz.
Yeah, whoever's Cambridge's lineup manager is running a super smart ship at the moment, because they know that Lisp is the game changer. There she goes, picks up leads. I'm going to anticipate a big scoring run now for Lisp.
She is going to aim to really increase this score differential, really put some daylight between themselves and Wiltshire if possible. Just one left for her to beat, round she goes, keeps on her feet.
However, Lindsay managing to sneak through. Not something we've seen a lot of at the moment. And a blocker apiece. Oh no, Cambridge's pivot returning. Oh no, my prediction was wrong. I'm sometimes wrong. Lisp calls the jam, but does pick up 4 points for her troubles.
So you mentioned that Le Renegade was a blocker, I believe, in recent jam, and she has come out, seems to have been dropped out of the jammer rotation momentarily by Wiltshire.
Interesting choice, because I don't know much about her. I don't have the stats in my head about her lead percentages and so on, but I think she has been reasonably successful.
So according to the first half, she put 24 points on the board, in fact, for Wiltshire. So it is an interesting decision.
Oh, but she's back on now, so maybe she was just having a rest of the legs. Oh, I spoke too soon, announcer's curse. She's in the box for a cut track.
So we've got Donna Kay Baps out and looking to take advantage now.
Dangerous position for Wiltshire right now. Baps, super strong jammer, and will happily run this power jam into the ground. Cambridge setting up the inside line sweep. You can see on their screens, they did this several times yesterday against Riot City, and it was pretty brutal to watch. Here they go.
And it's so effective.
It's so well done, but just absolute textbook offense there.
If you were looking for a training gif, that is it right there.
Yeah. Le Renegade back in play now.
Or K-Baps going for the apex jump, doesn't quite make it. Chloe forcing her back to the exit of turn 3.
And Le Renegade pushing against Dangerous there. And again, having played with and against Dangerous, like, she's great if she's on your team. You don't want her on the opposition. The Le Renegade does push through eventually. There's a lot going on right now. We've got 2 Cambridge blockers in the box. Oh, and Baps calls it. So, you know, there's going to be a pack advantage for Wiltshire, but actually Cambridge's lead now is pretty comfortable. That is 32 points. I'm saying it very slowly because I've only had 1 cup of coffee this morning and my maths is terrible. Right, 116 goes to 20, so that's 4 points. Then up to 30, that's 14. 22 points. Thanks, Coco. Look, I'm not a mathematician.
I was not volunteering to help you out there at all.
Look, 32. It is 32. I told you I was right, Coco. Oh, my God. Announcers can't do math.
Lisp makes her way out of the pack for Lee Jammer, closely followed by Diamond Dodge. Just 2 Rollerbillies blockers out there, and they were able to contain Dodge for long enough to let Lisp get out and grab some points.
And it's going to be all about clock management now from Cambridge. If they can grab those leads and manage the clock really smartly, then they've got this.
And we saw this from them yesterday. They kept maintain their composure throughout the game yesterday. At no point did they let the excitement, even with a huge lead in front of them, they never took their eyes off the prize and the focus. And the reward sees them here today, and they are now eyes firmly on the final. Ankle biter with a fabulous smile there on the jam line, posed and ready to go.
Oh, ankle biter flooring Jessica Stabbit on their way to turn 1, but now Wiltshire going full defensive mode. Very armsy again, that's a technical term. Like, Wiltshire not as good as Cambridge at forming the walls that can cover the track without risking the multiplayers.
They seem to be a lot easier separated than the Cambridge Rollerbillies.
And Baps in that last jam put up the highest scoring jam for that half. Oh no, wait, we're just going to have that confirmed. Yeah, it was actually the highest scoring jam for the half. Ankle biter, hands in the air like they just don't care, but not calling the jam right now.
Lindsay right with ankle biter, and
there's that clock management I mentioned. Just shaving seconds off that period clock, which as you can see is under 4 minutes now. And Cambridge now with a pretty comfortable lead. It's going to take some big jams from Wiltshire to turn this round, and we've not seen that from Wiltshire really this game. It's not been characteristic of their style of play to run these big multi-scoring passes. But maybe I'm wrong. I often am.
So we've got Renegade and Baps. Baps doing some great defensive work. They're trying to keep the Renegade back on the jam line, as there are only 2 Cambridge blockers on track.
Oh, does pick up leads. Why is she going back? Oh, she thought she was off track. Oh, God love her. She is leads.
Well, better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Yeah, but she did stay in bounds by a toe stop there. Oh, there it is. Gorgeous balance. Fantastic control there by the Renegade. Now going round on the initial. And Baps being held really strong by Wiltshire there.
Giving the Renegade the best possible chance here.
And some nice reforming there from Wiltshire, but not quite effective enough.
They are going to run out of room, unfortunately.
The Renegade just needs to get a scoring pass in. Oh, but she's past the star. Oh, the Renegade, what are you doing? And the pivot cover, it was on the floor a minute ago. The star's now with Hayley, who is a great jammer, but the Renegade had lead status control. Oh, no. Not sure that was the smartest decision by Wiltshire there.
Interestingly, exactly the same thing happened in the game with the Rollerbillies yesterday, and their opposition did exactly the same thing at a similar point.
Hey, but you know what? It's smart at the moment because Hayley is now on a power jam. Baps in the box on a back block.
And we are seeing Hermaphrodite has picked up, I believe, 6 penalties over on the Rollerbilly side as well. So there's penalty danger for both sides right now.
And with under 2 minutes left on the period clock and just under 30 points separating these teams, it's going to take something pretty big, as I said, to pull it off. Oh no, a forearm being called on a blocker. And now the jam comes to an end with a wee bit of confusion.
Quite an abrupt.
Big jam there for Wiltshire though, 13 points to Cambridge's 3. And now we have 28 points separating the two.
believe it's Willie on a Wiltshire team timeout, just probably having a little chat, just wondering what they can do in the dying minutes of this game.
I mean, I think they know that the only thing they could do at the moment is put out the jammer who is the strongest at multi-scoring passes, and run it. But at the moment, I would say they're strong. I would say their best bet is Dodge, and she is on the line.
But she is going up against Lisp.
Yeah, so Cambridge doing exactly the same. And I think we're going to see, if Lisp grabs lead here, I think we're going to see her run the period clock down until we're just on jam time, and then call it as soon as possible.
And you can see her helping out her blockers there, aiming to contain Dodge, and she does in fact pick up lead.
And Dodge not far behind her, but not in control of this jam. So it looks
mixing
like,
it up in the pack as well.
Yeah, so it looks like Cambridge will be seeing out this game comfortably in control unless Lisp picks up a penalty. Dodge coming round at the front. Nice work by Dodge. Beautiful work there to pick up 4 points. Lisp yet to put points on the board.
Yep.
There she goes now, putting up 4.
But Lisp also now through, picking up 4 as well. So.
And Dodge just so smooth. She's had a completely clean game. Has been just exceptional wearing the star for Wiltshire this weekend.
And these jammers are matching each other lap for lap.
And Dodge not even touching Cambridge there, putting up 12 points now. Lisp on a 3rd scoring pass.
And there's that beautiful move into the middle, just using her entire body to just break apart the wall. But they're all defence now from Wiltshire.
Period clock very close to expiring. Dodge, nice toes, stops on the outside line, 1 to beat, does so, dangerous with the defence, takes Dodge to her knees.
Huge hit there from Skeletor on Lisp.
And Lisp being held nicely by Wiltshire right now. You can see Skeletor's grin from here, and Lisp as well. And she calls it. That's the unofficial score, and Cambridge shrieking with joy as it is put up. Wiltshire finishing the game so strong with 16 points, even though they didn't have lead. Probably one of their biggest jams they've had. And Cambridge finishing with 12. But Cambridge Rollerbillies taking the victory, 169 to 145, which means now that Cambridge have automatic promotion to Tier 2, and they will be going through to the final, which will be streamed on BBC. Woo.
Oh, what a game.
What a game. And do stay with us on the stream, because we are going to have an interview with Hull and Nottingham, and then afterwards with Cambridge and Wiltshire to reflect on the games. Thank you so much for joining us on the live stream. I've been Loud and Queer.
I've been Riggs.
And we've been joined by our marvellous producer, Coco, who's been providing us with all the stats.
All of the stats.
Stick with us for the rest of the day and have a lovely time watching the rest of British Championships 2018 promotional playoffs.